Prime Minister, the FCJ says certificates of tenants to occupy their building units has not yet been issued. It says the units must not be formally handed over or used by tenants at this stage. So what was the opening about? I think I know. It was officially opened in May 2025, and there was a certain event that was looming. That event took place on September 3, 2025, and the Prime Minister was on a opening spree across the entire country.
Well, the devil is a
And
liar.
now this is blowing up in his face.
Right in our face. Poof. Poof. The devil is a liar. We are back, people. We're trying one more time because we're not at 7 o'clock yet. And in the name of Jesus Christ, we are going to 7 o'clock. Yeah? So we see them trying. We see. The internet is stable. And whole heap of things it has say. Nuts. Whole heap of things it has say. So, we are back. And we are going to be here. Them could have gone and gone till thy kingdom come. We are going to be here. Because we don't give up. Never give up the fight. You understand? You find out what I want? We're never giving up the fight. We continue pushing through. And speaking the truth. Only the truth. Because we know the devil don't like the truth. But the truth must be revealed. Yeah? And here we are this evening struggling. We don't normally struggle with the show, you know. But here we are this evening struggling with this show. And it just tells me something that we have to do, Madam Producer. We have to get to the other provider. And other providers. There are about 3 other providers where we are. And we are going to ensure that we have all 3 systems up. 4 systems. We're going to have them up. That means when we come on and step out, like somebody in the chat room a while ago said, from you start talking about Israel, them start fight the show. Well, this show, they are before, you know. And from 1995, we in a media. That is over 30 years we've been doing this. We not just come. We not just come. And from them time, they were taught the truth. Shaka, you shouldn't have asked Darrell. Or you should have asked Darrell for one of the Starlink. We don't want nothing from them. No. Somebody say we want Damien. I don't know why I'm bring on Damien for talk. All right, no problem. I don't know my general. I don't know that the Ras is my general. I am convinced that how them get Cliff figure extreme. Remember how Cliff used to lose him channel and had to get backup for the backup. Well, when you have a good thing going, you know, that is what happened. Yeah? And therefore, we have to get what we need to get, and we will get what we need to get to ensure that we stay online. Yeah, man. Good evening and welcome. We're taking your calls on 876-804-7072. I told you that the Urban Center in Morant Bay was a private initiative. Private sector to the building on public land. The lands are owned by the government of Jamaica through Factories Corporation. And I heard Littleton Shirley tell Cliff Hughes something, you know. Tell Cliff Hughes something about what percentage they hold. Yeah. No, Damian is not challenging Mark Golden. Remember that. Damian is not challenging Mark Golden. Mark Golden is the leader of the People's National Party. Yeah? But what I will tell you, anytime Mark Golden move him foot is Damian Crawford. But Damian is not going to challenge Mark Golden. But make we talk about the urban center in Morant Bay that the Prime Minister they go open, make big fanfare, spend almost $20 million, if no more, for the opening. Make we talk about that. How much of taxpayers' money go down the drain. And I'll know the place not open yet. Never.
Hello, good evening, Colin.
What go on, my brother?
What, rougher road?
Rougher road this evening, may I tell you?
Yeah, rougher road and look like it will get rougher too.
It's gonna get rougher yet. Hear me?
Yeah, but you know, good evening to your listeners and your precious callers.
Yes.
Colin, you know, say we are going to need a serious social cohesion within our household, though,
Definitely.
in order to fight what is coming internationally and locally.
Yes.
Because some of your local so-called rich people,
Yeah.
that live up in places like Cherry Gardens, Norbrook, Beverly Hills, what they are finding out now that they are asset rich,
Yes.
but they are cash poor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some of them house value so much money that it can't even sell.
Can't even sell. Yeah.
No, but you hear say them a millionaire and billion Jamaicans billionaire, but the house that they live in, we value 200 million and can't sell.
Can't sell, so they're not no cash flow, they're not no cash.
No, so it's the cash they are after. And what you find is the so-called poor people have the cash.
Oh?
Because you have an underworld economy. If you're going half a tree right now, Colin, all of the gambling house them pack.
Oh?
Yeah, and it's mostly women gambling in the slot machines.
Yes? Oh?
Yeah, man. It's alarming to me see how many women gambling
But
in
that
the gambling
not
house
look good.
of Jamaica, of Kingston and St. Andrew.
But that not look good, never.
It can't good, Colin, because when women get insecure and desperate, it's serious for the African male.
Huh?
So all this talk about employment, numbers, and prosperity, you have to active on the ground to see exactly what is going on in the nooks and crannies of Kingston and St. Catherine.
Mm.
You follow?
Yes?
Yeah, I did a survey.
The producer said why so many women are gambling is because they don't have a man like you.
Well, probably.
She said she heard you on a program today saying that you take care of 3 women.
Yeah, I take care of, I'm not a womanizer, Colin.
Yeah.
And I take care of 3 women in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Still living with one.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, and I make sure I give them budget every month.
Different from the house money.
Yeah, I give what you call spousal allowance.
Tell her! Hallelujah. I want to hear that, people.
Yeah, man, I believe that no matter how small it is, you should have a spousal allowance for your spouse.
All right.
Just to give her a motivator, you know?
Yes.
Because, Colin.
Yes, Neville, I'm listening, your man.
Based on what is going on in Iran,
yes,
with the blockade of Iran now,
Mm-hmm.
and the armada that surround Iran now.
Yeah.
Anytime the first shot fire, because the negotiation going to break down. Anytime the first shot fire, I believe they're going to cancel the World Cup of World Cup football this year.
You think so?
Yeah, based on the trend that I am seeing going on, because Cuba collapsed, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, Cuba.
And Cuba collapsed. And none of the CARICOM leaders can say anything to America.
And can't do nothing for Cuba. Not even just can't say nothing. They can't help. They can't even stretch out a hand.
Colin, a big argument you talk. Colin, how bad it is to have an ungrateful government.
Why? Our government is the epitome of ungratefulness, you know.
Yeah, man, ungratefulness is ungodly here.
Yeah, man. Look what we do. Look how we turn our backs on Venezuela. Venezuela is one of the countries that help us to bring down our debt to GDP by selling us a loan of $3 billion for $1.5 billion. And we turn our back on Venezuela. In fact, we take away Venezuela money. The money that
is in front of the courts.
The money that Venezuela had in Petrojam, we take it like a bad man.
Yeah, we turn our back on Cuba.
Turn our backs on Cuba. Send home the doctors and the nurses.
So the point I'm making, when the Iranian war starts, we must make sure that we have social cohesion among good families and good friends.
Yes.
So that we can use our time better.
Yes.
Help each other to manage the stress that it's going to bring better.
Yes.
We're going to have greater money management because I look at this much now, Colin. If you boil in 2 eggs for yourself alone in some water, right?
Yeah.
And the water that you boil in the 2 eggs in could hold 6 more eggs, right?
Yeah.
It would take the same time to boil the 2 eggs as it takes to boil the 8 eggs, you know?
Yes. And the same amount of water.
And the same amount of water, the same amount of time, and the same amount of gas.
Yes.
So with the inflation that's coming, we have to make sure we come together.
Yes, man. Lord,
apologize if you must and save what you can save because it's going to be very serious in the new world order. It's a new world order we're going into, you know.
I know.
And let me tell you this briefly before me leave.
Yeah, because we have Ralston, so go ahead.
Yeah, you say if Iran lick America very hard, America going to use this war as an excuse to digitalize the system fully and take cash out of the system, in my opinion.
Well,
because when all things fail in the economy, they take the world to war. If you study World War I and World War II.
Yeah, man, because they make money from the war.
Thank you, sir. Hand it over to the Guru Ralston, man.
All right, sir. Blessings.
Take care. All the best to you out there, and may your food basket never empty.
One love, my brother. Raleigh, good evening.
Yeah, man, good evening.
How are you doing this evening, my brother?
Yeah, man, good, man. What's up?
Well, good day here. I watch what I go on and what I go on out of the urban center out of Morant Bay. Nearly a year after it opened, people them still have water and light. Raleigh? Raleigh? Not here in Raleigh again. Raleigh gone. Had him a while ago.
Yeah, man. Can you hear me?
Yes,
hear me now?
I'm hearing you. Give us an update.
Yeah, we're saying the rent.
Go ahead. No,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Raleigh.
The rent too high.
The rent too high, but the people.
Now I was saying Morant be the rent. The rent just too high.
But the people that say they have no light, no water out there either. 8 months after it opened.
That make it even worse. Yeah, precisely. So you want more substandard product at a high price, so it not work out.
You open a product that was not ready to be open.
Yet at a high price.
When you hear Cliff Hughes had to admit that them opened it because the election was coming, then you know it
Of
bad.
course. Of course. Of course. Of course.
Raleigh, tell us what is going on with the Jamaican economy coming out of last week, starting this new week.
Well, nothing is going on apart from the tax package, which majority of the people, the business community, and the objective analysts object to, only supported by the civil society
Only supported by who?
is going to be very rough. So if you look at the budget numbers, what we are seeing is
Why
that
we're not here?
the government has
Here,
always
Raleigh.
been deceiving the
We're not hearing
people
Raleigh.
about the level of revenue
Raleigh, we
collections
lost you a
and
while
the
ago.
state
You're
of the
saying that
economy.
only
What we
some
have seen
people.
is that revenues have been. You hear me?
Go ahead now. Hearing you
Can you
now.
hear me now?
Yes.
Now hear me now?
Yeah, man, we're hearing
Yeah.
you now.
You hear me?
Yes. Raleigh, go ahead. We're hearing you now. What a evening. Raleigh? All right. Raleigh, let's do this different. Let's do it different because we can't afford for not hear Ralston, you know. We cannot afford not hearing Ralston, man. These interactions are too critical to our listeners and the people. Raleigh, you back?
Yeah, man, I'm back, man. Can you hear me?
Ralston.
I'm hearing you, but you're not hearing me.
All right, so we're not hearing Raleigh. We're not hearing Raleigh. So let's remove this, that, and let's try him here. Let's try Raleigh over here. Let's see if we can get him on this better. It's not ringing either. Raleigh, we're trying to get you on a different line. We're trying to get you on a different line because we want to hear from Ralston Iman. Yeah, so we're trying him there. Let's see if we get him on this line and get a clearer connection because the connection needs to be clear so that the people can hear what Ralston Iman have to say. Yeah, man. Raleigh.
Yeah, man.
Let's see if this is better. Talk to us now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying to you that the people are talking about the tax package. So apart from the people who support the government, the business community and the objective analysts, they do not support it because it is going to lead to further economic contraction. So if you look at the government's own projections in the fiscal policy paper, they are projecting that GDP will decline by 4.5% this year. We believe that is conservative. And by another 0.5% next year.
How much
right?
this year? 4.5?
4.5%. That's very conservative. And on 0.5% next year. We believe that is also conservative. Yeah, man, that's a joke. Yeah. And they are also projecting that the revenues won't increase despite the new tax package. The revenues will still come out at where they were in 2024, where they were this year, as well as next year. Tax revenues have been stagnating because of the stagnation in the economy. So it is clear that we need a growth strategy. Additionally, what we're seeing coming out of the revenue estimates is that the bulk of the revenues will be paid by the workers and the consumers. They are looking at 342 billion in income tax and 329 billion in GCT, 97 billion in special consumption taxes. So the bulk of the taxes will be paid by the consumers and the workers.
I heard Keenan Faulkner saying the very same thing, Ralston, that the government, he would expect that the government would be using a stimulus package instead of taking money from the workers. And the money would be better spent by the people of Jamaica than by the government.
Every sensible economist know that. So who support it don't know anything about economics.
So, what name Damian King?
Okay, man, you don't know nothing.
Then they might take advice. So them money don't understand where I'm going.
But where else in the world, really, coming out of a major catastrophe, government implement new taxes?
It happens nowhere in the world. Where else in the world? And that's why I know that it is madness. Every sensible economist who know about economics knows that that's madness. That never happens. You can't tax in a recession. You can't tax after a depression. You can't tax after a natural disaster. All they are doing is holding back the economy and holding back the people. You need to stimulate. And that is why we're saying they don't know what they're doing, because they went out and mobilized the 6.7 billion in financing. Everybody was looking forward to saying that they have mobilized this financing because they want to give the economy a stimulus.
Right.
All of a sudden, we hear about new taxes. Yeah, so it defeats the effort, because the people believe that they were going to provide assistance to all who need assistance, because everybody needs assistance, and that's why they look to external sources to backstop the situation. And now they come and say they are going to tax it.
Somebody in the chat room say I can give you 5 examples. 5 examples of what? Countries that have implemented tax coming out of a catastrophe. If it's that,
to call any example, no.
If that's what you're saying, please tell us the name of these countries that have implemented tax coming out of a catastrophe, and that has implemented tax when you are expecting to grow the economy. Ralston, if they are saying that GDP is going to decline by 4.5% this year, that you're talking 2026-27 financial year?
Yeah, man, this fiscal year that we are completing now, and then they say next year to be 0.5%. But those numbers are
concerned. Oh, the one that we are completing now, so that's 25-26.
Yeah, man, 4.5%, and 26-27, they expect 0.5% decline. But those figures are fictitious. That the declines are going to be deeper than that, because nothing has started yet, and they have complicated it with the tax policy.
So you're saying that with the devastation of Hurricane Melissa, we are only going to decline by 4.5%. 2025,
that's what
2026.
That's what the government.
That's what the government is saying. Sorry, the government is saying. What are you saying, right?
I say a deeper decline.
What are you saying?
Decline. And
What are you saying? What kind of decline?
I'm saying that the decline is going to be deeper, somewhere in the region of 6 to 10%.
And 27, 28?
I see like 5% decline. I don't say the 0.5%, because they have not provided any stimulus for the economy to grow. What they are doing is to contract the economy. And let me just say something simple and then we break it down.
Yeah.
One of the basic rules of economics is that the basic definition, mathematically speaking, is that the entire economy is equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M. C is consumption, that is the money spent by household. Investment, consumption is determined by the kind of job that people have, right? Investments are driven by consumption. The first thing, if you run a business, you want to do a market survey to see if you have any consumers. So if consumers are going to have less money, it means that you are going to have less investments. The government says this is going to spend less, and we run massive trade deficit, X minus M, right? So if you are going to do that, the economy must decline. Additionally, consumption, is an investment, is a function of disposable income. Disposable income is the money where the people have to spend after you take out taxes. So if you are going to tax them more, it means that they might have less to spend. So it means they have less investments, and you already run massive trade deficit. So it means that the economy is going to shrink. That is basic economics, 101 we call it.
So everything that the government is doing is geared towards shrinking the economy.
Yeah, man, they're going in the wrong direction, and you can't collect more taxes from a shrinking economy. That is why over the last 3 years, them still collect the amount of taxes and had to be relying, just as Julian tell you, one-off tax measures like selling the revenues from the airports in order to boost the revenue. Yeah, so the whole thing now, them now have nothing else to sell now. So that's the problem. So it's not really Melissa the problem. It's a stagnation, the economy are the problem. Them run out of things to sell now. That's why Nigeria can't vote, because the whole thing buck.
So the government basically run out of options. So whether we had Melissa or not, there would be a tax package this year.
Of course, because they will have to find something to sell or borrow more, because the economy can't generate the required levels of revenues to match the spending.
And there's nothing more to sell.
Yeah, and them have a growth strategy. Over the last 10 years is 0.8%. So you can't collect more tax revenues if they are grow at that rate. Tax revenues are a function of the growth of the economy. So that is why they run out and find themselves in this position. Because when you look at Melissa, the extra spending that they talk about, they will increase the capital budget by 25 billion. Every year we have a capital budget of between 60 and 65 billion. Now 99 billion. So only 24 billion them put on. So it can't be blamed on Melissa like say. So they might tell about the 8.8 billion. Yeah, that's the next thing we need to explain to the people.
Yes, please.
If Melissa wiped out 41% of GDP, as I'm telling the people, which they rejected when we said that, it means that the debt to GDP ratio is 115%. It can't be 68%. So the minister have to decide which one of them shall go going. Shall I use the 41% now to justify the tax package? Yeah, and at the same time, she has said the debt to GDP is 68%. If it wipe out 41% of GDP, the debt to GDP can be 68%. Make up your mind, Minister.
So is this the reason why the minister will not give an interview to a Ralston Hyman or a Colin Bell or a Conrad O'Brien?
Because you know, so I bring up that. So if you notice, she and all of the spokesman and Keith Duncan and all of them, I tell the people about 8.8 billion and 41% of GDP. But when we said it, them have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And them still want to maintain so the debt to GDP ratio is 68%. Then if it wipe out 41%, or the debt to GDP ratio will be 68%. Madness. But them use that to justify the tax package. We say, oh, things are so bad that we need that. Things were bad before Melissa.
But she did say, you remember what she said in the parliament when Isaac Buchanan asked her about that 41%? We're going to play it tomorrow evening, everybody. We're going to bring back all night. We're going to bring it back tomorrow evening. What the minister said then and what she's saying now. We're going to present all of that to you tomorrow.
Not only her, all of the apologists, the Prime Minister, Damian King, Keith Duncan, all of them have said the same thing now. Melissa never wiped out 41% of GDP. It wiped out 41% of the country's infrastructure, which is something that you don't fix back in 1 year. So if you tell us now that the tax package is due to Melissa when you only increase the capital budget by 25 billion, is a joke. But the economy was not performing for the last 10 years, and as a result, you couldn't collect the revenues, and you had to be relying on one-off revenue things like selling the revenues from the airport because you have no growth strategy, and you still don't have a growth strategy.
But they are
tax for more.
They are coming with a tax package next financial year as well, Raleigh.
Well, let's see. Because if you tell me, Melissa, every time there's a disruption, you come with a tax package.
No, but isn't as you are saying that over the 2 years it's going to be $30 billion in taxes? Did I hear right?
They might come with their tax next year. The hotels have to pay 11 billion more. Yeah, so that's one for next year.
The hotels are going to pay 11 billion.
GCT, yeah, they might raise the GCT on hotels from 10% to 15%.
And they are going to increase property taxes when?
Next year.
So Raleigh, I did a maths, you see. In the election, in the PNP manifesto, the PNP said that there were about 700,000. Your background a little bit noisy, Raleigh.
Yeah, man. Yeah, go ahead.
In the election, the PNP said in their manifesto, right, that anybody will live on government land for 25 years. They were going to give them documents for that land so that they would start paying taxes, right? They gave a number of about 700,000 people living on government land. If you give 700,000 people papers to land and they are paying on average $5,000 a year for taxes, wouldn't that add up to about $3 billion?
Yeah, man, but these people have no far-reaching growth strategy. All them can think about is taxes and balancing the budget and debt to GDP. They have no fundamental understanding of development and growth economics. Why am I do them operate an economy like it's an accounting exercise? Yeah? Them now concern themselves with development of the people. What am I do? I just run some numbers to suit the ratings agencies. That was what Clark was doing, and them are continuing the same strategy.
But the rating agency did tell them that even though you pay your debt, you're not growing.
Right, which right. So it tells you that not even the ratings agencies them are listen to, because S&P did tell them say of the countries that have their rating, they are growing the slowest and their per capita GDP is the lowest in Latin America and the Caribbean.
Really?
But them still continue the same field strategy. Yeah.
Let's look at some money that the government squander. You remember that giveaway of $11.4 billion?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You remember
All
what
those
we
things we have to
you remember what we said then?
Yeah.
It was a
So
squander.
that's what I'm telling you. Yeah, man, they were deceiving using the one-off tax revenues from the airport, because out of that, them take their money, they know.
Yes.
And deceive the people to give the people that the impression that the revenues were performing. Yeah, and that's why Nigel Clark ran after a while, because she said them run out of things to sell.
But even
All
with
those
that,
things were,
they still can't give away our next $1 billion.
yeah, man.
Which they are
Yeah, man,
giving
because
away
they
right
take
now
members.
as we speak.
Yeah. Yeah, because remember the election was coming up, so them didn't think to sweeten the people and make them believe say everything was okay. Now the people are get a rude awakening fear, say, yo, by the way, taxes, and then them use the excuse of Melissa and the 8.8 billion when I go so in order to justify it, and then them get some people out there say, yo boy, the country have to run off of taxes, you know, and they might try to use man like Keith Duncan and them money to convince the people.
Really?
You can't collect more from a shrinking pie.
The houses, the container houses that they are going to bring from China. What could that money that they are going to use to buy those houses do to the economy in Jamaica?
Well, that could provide a stimulus to the Jamaican economy if they gave the work to the Master Builders Association and bought all of those materials from Jamaica and employed the people down west, the masons, the steelmen, the carpenters, would have a stimulus to the Jamaican economy and to that generate revenues, GCT from all angles, and income tax.
How then can the government tell us that they are going to put new taxes on when they are squandering the little money where we have?
That's what I said, but them know so nobody now go object to it. Them know them have them PR and them thing they so it now go change nothing more than people just talk and them just do them a do. That's at the start. Yeah, so all that happens is that more people are going to suffer, more people are going to dead. And them just continue on the merry way, because them know say, yo, you're not going to have no strong resistance. It's simple.
And they keep intervening in the market of the US dollar to the Jamaican dollar.
And continue to mop up liquidity. So they might make we poorer in every way. So the Bank of Jamaica pursue contractionary policy.
Yeah.
And the government itself pursue contractionary policy. Them things not happen nowhere else in the world when you have a recession or a natural disaster. That's why I'm telling you, them don't know what they're doing.
Will the Jamaican economy crash? Will the economy crash again?
Well, you now have the runaway crash like them do in 2012. But what happens is that you have more people that get poorer and poorer, more domestic violence, more criminality as people try to survive. So a more Haitianization where people get poorer and poorer and poorer and poorer. And you only can maintain security by making the police send people go to Jamaica or things like that. El Salvador style, as him said.
The promise
because of get half of a survive.
The promise of $32,000 minimum wage. Will that materialize?
That can't. It never, even before it would have this, that would never happen. So of course, no, that never happen.
But in raising taxes, they are still increasing the tax, the income tax threshold to 1.9 million.
Yeah, but they might take it back from you with the taxes.
But should they now just leave that as it is instead of increasing it because of election promise? Does that make sense?
No, if they not increase it, life will go worse. Yeah? And what them should have if them be sensible is for get the Bank of Jamaica and the Bankers Association to reduce the interest rate. So if you want more milk from your cow, you have to feed it more.
Yeah.
They might feed the cow less, but they might take more from it. So some of the cow, they might just drop them and dead. Simple, put it in a simple language.
Cow get mager.
Yeah, because you know, feed me, but you take more milk from it. Yeah, so if they were sensible and understood the economics and then say, yo, we'll tax you, but we'll lower the interest rate so that the economy can grow faster, then that will even more make sense. When the mother them tax you and the Bank of Jamaica take out liquidity and deprive the business community of money needed to invest so you can grow the pie. You can't get more from the pie if you not grow the pie. And that is why we have this stagnation in tax revenues over the last 3 years. Are going on the fourth year now. Yep. So if them did really understood economics and came with a tax package, yeah, them will have reduced interest rates. They have a simultaneous thing, two-sided. Yep. Yep.
Saturday morning, they told us that they didn't have to put this tax package in place. They could have gone along with the borrowed money. Which one is more dangerous to the health of the economy?
Well, what may I say to you? May I tell you clearly when would I do if it was me as a finance minister? So
yeah.
If you're faced with a need for a tax package, in order to ensure that you'll get the money while you keep the people's standard of living up, we have to get the Bankers Association and the Bank of Jamaica for lower interest rates. In other words, the government cannot pursue a contractionary policy and the BOJ pursue a contractionary policy at the same time. You have to have one loose and one on the other side. So if them didn't really understand, when the mother them will sit down and say, all right, we have to tax the people, but we have to give them some more milk, the cow them, so that them can give the taxes we want. So Bank of Jamaica, you have to lower the interest rates. Bankers Association, you have to lower the interest rates. So we have a bill in this thing, a reduction of the asset tax. You hear Leachin said, and the asset tax cause him forgetting a problem, because over the last 12 years, him pay 100 million. If he did have that, he would have won 94 million.
But this asset tax was not supposed to be in place till now, was it?
No, that's at that point. But dangerous. The asset tax should have ended in 2016. It had the NHT money. Peter Phillips had to put that in place because they did bankrupt the economy, and in order to get the debt to GDP down from 147%, he must force to do that.
All right, so they did not move the asset tax in 2016. They did not stop taking the money from the NHT. In an interview with Dean Jackson Miller, Andrew Holness told Dean Jackson Miller that he would ring fence the NHT when he becomes prime minister. What would you say to Andrew Holness now that he has been taking that money 10 years non-stop?
That I remember saying 10 years non-stop. Now I say I go to 2035. Then the other selection chatter, that's the point me I make to him, I have no credibility. That's the point me I make to you. So I'll go for the 10 years now. I might add 5 more years for it. So the people are looking at them things, they see the mismanagement of the economy and the nonsense that they are dealing with.
And the lack of innovation by this government, because that was a system put in place by the last PNP administration when they were taking us out of the dungeons that the GLP put us in when they crashed the economy under Bruce Golding, Andrew Holness, and Ardley Shaw. These were measures put in place to get Jamaica to recover, and they should have stopped 2016, 2015. When agreements. Yeah. Andrew Holness told us when he wanted power that he would grow the economy by 5% in 4 years. The base was that good.
Joke business, joking.
What do you say now, Ralston, when Andrew Holness come out now on a regular basis and telling us that they have managed the economy well and good economy can yam and all them kind of something? What do you say to the people of Jamaica?
No, I say what I say all the while. He has no macroeconomic credibility. I've been consistent on that. They have no macroeconomic credibility.
And we're simply saying to him that you have not managed the economy well. In fact, the destruction is coming down on us now. It's like a pregnancy, the baby are born now. Would you say?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I don't know anything about economics. Same thing we used to say with Clark, man.
Ralston,
say all of this come from a long time.
Any mapping up plan for this week?
Well, I don't know. Them normally issue the notice, so I wait and see them out. Them did that last week, so let's see what them do. They map up 123 billion now as of last week, so let's see.
Any intervention in the dollar for this week?
No, we don't see anything yet. They give us the notice, so we don't get the notice. Them normally give the notice on that.
All right,
all
so
those things are going in the wrong direction. The dollar traded at once. Tell me 1.692. What is it that we have been doing in terms of production?
The dollar traded at what today?
The dollar traded.
We didn't hear that. The dollar
156.92.
Mm-hmm.
And
what
that's
is
very artificial. There's nothing to show for that.
And what is the cause of that?
Because they have the reserves.
So they
have
just
this money with them. Yeah, they have this whole money that they have misused. The right way if you use that money is to drop the interest rates to about 4.5% or 5% and defend the dollar at 160.
And none of that has been done.
None of that has been done. All of those things would facilitate growth and make it easier for them to collect the additional taxes that they want. Yep.
The government has spent over $120 billion overpaying on the debt. What is the benefit of that now, based on the position that we are in?
There's no benefit. If you notice what I said here again, and something that people have to understand, the 8.8 billion in infrastructural dam is due to government neglect now, because they use the money in a program for, just like the ratings agency are telling, not just me, and never take care of the country's infrastructure. So they are responsible for the damage that Beryl did in terms of the country's infrastructure.
And that $120 billion could have built out much more of our infrastructure, build wholly more houses, so less houses would have been damaged in Hurricane Melissa.
Precisely. Less bridges would have been damaged, less places would have been flooded. Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Fundamentally speaking, the ideology that they might pursue, where the government only try to balance the budget at all costs, keep inflation low. Incidentally, inflation dropped to 3.9% this month, as at the end of January, point to point. Yeah, just get the number a while ago. Keep the exchange rate stable and just allow everything to run itself. That can't work. In Jamaica, that not help Jamaica right now.
Hold on there, let me see. Answer the question I asked, which was, where is your question? Somebody said to ask Raleigh, in the FX market, isn't the same as important as subsidy?
Yeah, man, find where the money subsidize the exchange rate. And subsidize the man them who buy the dollar. Yeah. So the man them who really are producing and export. The man them who are really producing and export, them are lose while the speculators are gain. So the man them who don't earn a foreign exchange, that them are gain. And the man them who earn foreign exchange, them are lose.
Somebody's talking about
that's madness.
Somebody talking about Omar Davis. Omar Davis is the best finance minister Jamaica ever see. Me think him better than Peter Phillips.
Well, from a consistent basis, because I was there for longer, yes, so I would agree that.
And the fact that he brought the debt to
Peter
GDP
Phillips,
down
from Peter Phillips, you're the point. So I want to make the distinctions clearly.
Yeah.
Peter Phillips managed the most substantial IMF agreement Jamaica has ever had in its history of the IMF.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
so
I
make that point.
I look at it.
Omar was there for longer and more consistent. He was the first one who passed 12 consecutive IMF tests. But at the time when Peter Phillips stepped up, Jamaica was in a precipice caused by the Jamaica Labour Party.
And I am saying that Omar Davis brought the debt to GDP from 262% down to 115%, even though navigating the FinSac period, the meltdown of our banks in Jamaica.
Right. But guess what now? Because the people of Jamaica are so, we don't want to diss them economically and politically obtuse.
Yeah.
Peter Phillips never get a chance to finish what he have to finish. If I may say to you, maybe some might have to do with him too, where them get voted out before him could have a continuation. Remember, Omar was there for 14 years now, so he had more time to do more things.
Yes.
Peter Phillips' thing was cut short, only 4 years him do. Him do less than 1/3 of what Omar do.
And as
because
you say,
Jamaican people.
But as you say, he managed Jamaican economy.
The toughest.
And the toughest time ever. Because we want to remind the people of Jamaica, you know, that when Peter Phillips became Minister of Finance, Jamaica was expelled from the IMF at that time. We couldn't get no money to borrow from no multilateral, none of them, no IDB, no IMF.
The man them never even want to see me. You know, time off a fly to Washington and come back, when the man them locked the door upon him, it was very embarrassing. So when me and the money come, they want to talk them all about crap and people that support them. It says a lot about the Jamaican people. Because me was a right-hand man, so me know all of the problems we go through. That's why I have to give him certain rating.
Yeah, because we want to remind the people, you know, that when the Great Recession started in 2008, Audley Shaw and Ed Bartlett told the country that the recession would benefit Jamaica.
Yeah, man, and Bruce Golden said going to the IMF was neither necessary nor appropriate. Me asked Ronnie if asked him the question when he go Parliament if we now go IMF.
Yeah.
And said it was neither necessary or appropriate. Them never go IMF. The recession started in September of 2007. And they never got IMF until 2009.
Yeah.
And while the man negotiate with IMF, Audley Shaw fired Derek Latibody, the most experienced man apart from Omar Davies and Shirley Tyndall. Enough people know them named it. In Jamaica in relation to the IMF. Yeah, and then them go and take a foolish agreement, a 27-month standby facility, and the man them give them 2.4 billion upfront, and them never do the thing them what them supposed to do.
Hey.
So Peter Phillips would have to do all of them things there before we could get any money. You have to do the thing with the upfront, then with the front load and then back load it. You have to do the thing them first,
and then you get the money. But Raleigh. How many people remember that when the PNP got in power, the country was bankrupt? Yeah?
No, them not remember. Them not remember. And this administration try everything to make the people remember. I mean,
in 2007, the debt to GDP was 115%. And by 2012, we got back to 145%?
150, yeah. Some say 150, some say 145, but whatever, we were way out of work.
Yeah. And then Peter Phillips had to put in now this what them call it?
NHT thing.
No, not the NHT. The law that says we can't run certain.
Yeah, man, the fiscal responsibility law.
All right. Labor rights to say.
Hold on, make it clear. So Phillips, as the minister, had to do it, but it's really Mark Bolin who wrote it as a lawyer. So all the people have to understand that.
But labor rights are saying that is Bruce Golden started the fiscal policy. Explain that. How Bruce Golden getting at this?
Hold on, man. That is one of the agreements that they had with the IMF, but they never do it. Those are some of the things why the man them lock way out. They tell the man them say them how do it. After them get the man them money, then just turn them back and do nothing.
So Bruce Golden made a commitment to fiscal policy to put a fiscal policy in place. But him never do it.
They never do it.
Or they couldn't do it.
Well, them just never do it. And for whatever reasons, them just.
And tell us when it was done and how it was done. Please and thanks.
It was done by the Peter Phillips administration in 2013, along with the public sector wage freeze. Mark Golden is the man who wrote all of those legislation. So Mark Golden played an integral role in the legislative reforms required by the IMF.
So the fiscal policy came into being when?
2013, when we engaged and start doing the things that the man himself for do. That was one of the things that the man himself need to do up front. The public sector wage thing, forget 80% of the public sector agree to the wage freeze. And so on, one of the things that we have to do, them call it prior conditions, to give the IMF technical term. One man say, you have to do this before. Because I'm not going to a bad man down there take with the world money. Because remember, the IMF money are the world money, you know. So take with the world money and come go on like so a bad man pound way. Yeah.
So we got the loan from IMF in 2010. And by 2011, we couldn't. How much IMF tests did we pass when we take that loan? We passed one.
Only one.
How much did we take?
Only one.
Only one test we take?
Yeah, man. And I was a resident representative at the time, so I always tell me, say, yo, these fellas can't give me anything to take to the board.
So the GLP got an IMF loan because we have to take them to school this evening in a rally. The GLP got an IMF loan in 2010. When you take IMF money, you have to take IMF tests.
So for me to be precise, February of 2010. But because we were in such a bad position, the man them give the money up front.
2.4 billion. And let me just say this. The GLP administration has taken the biggest loan in Jamaica of all time. In 2010,
Yeah,
them take 2.4 billion. Now, in 2025, they are 2026, 25, they are taking 3.6 billion. No PNP administration has ever taken those size loans. How much Peter Phillips did get?
900 million.
Less than $1 billion.
Yeah, man.
So people understand this. The GLP crashed the Jamaican economy in 2011. Them start make the mistake from 2008 when them said the Great Recession either affect Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And allow the country to lick up in a brick wall and boom back. Whole of the front end tear off. Mash up. And when they decide to take the loan, they couldn't pass no IMF test. When you take IMF money, Raleigh, tell me if I'm wrong. There are certain prescription or certain regulations where you have to follow.
Them tell you what for them. Them tell you about the conditions that the credit loans come with conditions.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if you don't meet the conditions, you don't get the money.
So GLP administration led by Bruce Golding, Ardley Shaw as finance minister, Andrew Holness as leader of government business in the house, could not take more than one test.
Yeah, man.
And did they pass that one test when they take?
No.
They failed it. Hallelujah. They took one test and failed it. The Jamaican economy.
Listen to me, man. Gene used to say, these fellas can't give me anything sensible to take to the board.
The only time in the history of Jamaica, I'm telling you all the while, say anytime you hear Andrew Holness point finger upon PNP and say PNP do something, at him. You remember when Andrew Holness said, if it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago, we couldn't approach the multilaterals? He was talking about the GLP in 2011 when Jamaica got expelled from the multilaterals. We couldn't get the money for borrow. So the asset tax was put in place to save Jamaica. The drawdown from NHT was put in place to save Jamaica. Not to save Jamaica, to bring back Jamaica. Because we did crash already. So we weren't being saved. We weren't brought back to life. The wage freeze then was to bring back Jamaica to life. And when Peter Phillips and Portia Simpson Miller and Mark Golding navigate the operation of resuscitating Jamaica's economy, the people voted out the PNP in 2016. And Raleigh, I put it different. The PNP gave away the election in 2016.
Correct. Correct.
And the Jamaica Labour Party win a one seat. One seat they won by.
Yeah, man.
And we got a promise from Andrew Holness that they were going to grow the economy by 5% in 4 years. For the last 10 years, Ralston, what is the average growth rate of the Jamaican economy?
0.8%.
0.8%. Neighbor.
Statistically insignificant. Yeah,
Joshua. Challenge that. Zero.
That's why they can't collect the tax revenue. That's why tax revenues have been flat right through. And them have to rely upon selling the revenues from the airports and them thing there. Yep. So people must remember, I get the airport money for Norman Manley for 12 years, dance and stuff for 10 years. Them money they gone already.
If
you
we
eat
don't,
bread off tomorrow.
If we don't, God, Bob Marley say you eat your bread off, you eat your bread off tomorrow, you eat tomorrow dinner today. What you going to eat tomorrow?
Yep. So that's why they come to you for more taxes now and blame Melissa. Yep.
Ralston, I man, give thanks. Tomorrow evening we'll go and bring back all of favor thing them, so I could talk again tomorrow evening.
All right, brother. Blessed love.
One love.
Cool.
Ralston, the teacher, I man. Tell all of them, come watch this tape here and learn. Come learn who mash up Jamaica. The only time that Jamaica has been expelled from the multilaterals is under a GLP government led by Bruce Golding as Prime Minister, Audley Shaw as Finance Minister, and Andrew Holness as the leader of government business in the House of Representatives. Crash the Jamaican economy. Peter Phillips, Portia Simpson Miller, and Mark Golding did an operation to resuscitate the Jamaican economy, brought it back to life, laid a solid foundation. Andrew Holness, Audley Shaw, Nigel Clark, Michael Leachin made a promise that they were going to grow the Jamaican economy by 5% in 4 years. What has become of that promise? 2016 to 2019 is 4 years. Don't tell me about COVID. Don't tell me about COVID. When it comes to the Jamaican economy, every time it is the PNP that has saved the Jamaican economy. Those of you who are sitting down and telling lies and jumping over the period that they mash up the Jamaican economy, woe be unto you. Woe be unto the liars and the spin doctors. I don't know why this phone stick by me now. Woe be unto caller, hang up and call back. Hang up and call back, caller. The phone no want to talk to you now. Hang up, me say. Woe be unto the liars and the spin doctors who have lied to the Jamaican people continually, talking about GLP manage the Jamaican economy. You lie. You are so lie. You are so lie. And then the Prime Minister come to the Parliament and said to the Parliament, if it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago, we couldn't go to the multilaterals. Where you get that from, man? Where did the Prime Minister get that from? 10 years ago? 10 years ago. Oh boy. The trouble not set like rain. Trouble not set like rain at all. And therefore, we're setting the record straight this evening. This is a short tape. I'm not even going to recut it because we got kicked off the internet so many times. We got kicked off the internet so many times this evening. And this tell you clearly who are the better managers of the Jamaican economy. And it can be the people who crash it. Can never be the people who crash it. Can be the people who blunder and have been blundering and are here to blunder again because they have made so many mistakes and they have robbed and plundered the Jamaican economy. One hospital, renovating one hospital for $20 billion. 100 old bus, 110 old buses costing us $1.4 billion. You remember the used cars? You remember the Mombasa grass? You remember the Petrojam scandal? You remember Royal Reed stealing from the children? You remember how many babies have died under Christopherton University Hospital of the West Indies? And now There are medical waste piled up at a health center in Spanish Town. Those of you who are coming out tonight, speak to us about those. Speak to us about the $120 billion overpayment on the loan and what benefit are we getting from that now. Speak to us about the over $100 billion in corruption. May the good Lord continue to bless all of you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Until we meet again tomorrow evening, when we go and bring all the favor garbage together. When Isaac Buchanan asked her about the debt to GDP, what she said then and what she's saying now. Analog politicians will not make it in this digital age. Time come and pass. Time come and pass. But black people never know themselves until their backs are against the wall. Jamaican backs are against the wall now. Even though some of you still don't see it. And some of you still don't understand it. But in a little while, ears can't hear, backside we feel. Thank everybody for watching. Thanks, Ralston. Thanks, Conrad O'Brien. Thanks to all the callers and all the people in the chat room. Please like up the video before you leave. Like up the video. You know what is happening this evening? In spite of the amount of time they kick us off, we're back on your back with us. We are over 900 people listening right now. And I am grateful. And I thank everybody. Please like the video before you leave. One love. See you tomorrow evening, 5 o'clock. Blessings. The Colin Bell Show on Portland Spice TV. Hold on there before you go. I could drop a Louis culture upon them. Before we step out, I could drop Louis culture upon them. Yeah, man. Well, Louis Gangali culture, the Louis Gangali culture. Well, Louis Gangali culture, the Louis Gangali culture. Louis culture. Culture Louis. Where culture Louis there? Where culture Louis? Hey. I'm not see culture Louis also. My gosh, ish. Where is culture Louis? Hey. You don't see Louis culture. Go there, sir. Come back around here, sir. Look for Louis culture. I don't see Louis culture, you know. I mean, want to drop Louis culture upon them before I left in a madam producer. But I don't see Louis Gangali culture. Hey. No, sir. Do want to drop Louis culture before we left. But I don't know where Louis culture gone. But tomorrow evening, we will find him. Yeah, man. One love, my people. I could leave, you know, with this one here. This one here will say, truth does not mind being questioned, but a lie does not like being challenged. Tomorrow evening, my people. One love.